Gina. Today I'm going to show you how to make a matching ring that goes with the sparkling tennis bracelet that I made in my previous tutorial. Now with the bracelet and with the ring, I've used some crystal cuboid beads that you can get from budgetbeadbox.com. However, if you do not have these, you can use a bicone, but I have discovered that fire polish beads actually fit better and look nicer in this design. So if you get a really sparkly, really pretty fire polish bead, if you do not and cannot get a cuboid, it works much better than a bicone even, though a bicone does work. So if you want to use bicones, you can. Let's go ahead and look at this. Well, let me show you the ring first. This is what the back of the ring looks like, and this is what the front of the ring looks like. It's pretty quick and easy to do. And let's go ahead and look at the material list. So for this project today, we will be using 15-0, 11-0, and 8-0 seed beads. These are all Toho, and they are all the galvanized aluminum silver tone. We will also be using 5 cuboid beads. These are 4mm, and you can get them at budgetbeadbox.com. However, if you cannot, go ahead and use something else that's 4mm, like a bicone crystal. A fire polish bead works great, and 4mm, of course, and you can also try a 4mm round. So then we will be using some 8-pound Nanofil. Nanofil is smaller than Fireline, so you can use 6-pound Fireline, 8-pound Nanofil, but don't go any bigger than that because we fill these beads full with thread and it needs to be a small test weight of thread. I will also be using a size 12 beading needle because I am using size 15-0 seed beads, plus passing through these beads can be difficult, so a size 12 is recommended. Let's go ahead and get started with this project. Okay, to begin this project, put about a wingspan of thread onto your needle and then pick up 6 11-0 seed beads. And once you have your 6 11-0 seed beads, grab onto them and bring them down to the end of the thread. While holding onto your beads between your thumb and your finger, go ahead and slide up the first 3 beads that you put onto your thread here from the tail side, and hold on to the tail, hold on to the thread, and bring the second set of beads down on top of the first set, like so. And then now you're coming out of the first set, go into the second set of all 3 beads. Hold on to the beads and pull the thread through. Now just to secure this first stitch, we're going to go back up through the first set of beads. So you're coming out of the second, go up into the first set where your tail is, and go through. And then go back down into the second set. And now they should be secure and sitting nice and closely together on your thread. Pick up another set of 3 11-0 seed beads. You're coming out of this end of the 3 beads, go into the opposite end, and pull your thread through. These beads will fall down against the second set of beads. Then go up into that third set that you've just put on. Pull your thread straight through and not to the side so that your beads will stay together and not separate as you make your stitches. Now that you have 3 columns of 3 11-0 seed beads onto your piece, you will pick up an 8-0 seed bead. You're coming out of this set of 3 11-0s. You're going to skip the middle set and you're going to go down into the first set where your tail is. And just go through all 3 of those beads. Move your tail aside and pull the thread through. As you do this, you can just push the middle set of 3 11-0s down so that it cups up. Otherwise, it'll pucker up, and you want it to pucker down. Pick up an 8-0 seed bead. you're coming out of this first set of 3 11-ohs, skip the middle set and go back into the third set one more time. Pull your 8-0 up while holding on to the little piece that you've created. Don't squish it, just hold on to it. And now you should have something that looks like a little bezel like this. Pick up a 15-0 seed bead, or go into the 8-0 seed bead. You're coming out of these 3 11-0 seed beads, go up into the 8-0. Now we're prepared to do our next step. Now this wants to kind of come apart as you do the first one, and you'll just have to pull it back together as we embellish it. So grab a 15-0 seed bead, a crystal, and a 15-0 seed bead. You're coming out of this side of this 8-0 seed bead. Go to the opposite 8-0 seed bead and go through the same side. So go through here. And just gently hold on to your piece and pull the crystal down. Turn your piece, and you can kind of guide that crystal into the middle. It won't totally go in there just yet, but guide it into the middle by pushing it down, and then pick up a 15-0 seed bead, and then go into the crystal. So you're coming out of the 8-0, go into the crystal again, and bring that 15-0 seed bead down to the top of the crystal. Get my tail out of there. We'll cut that tail down in a minute because it's just going to be in the way. Now make sure your 15-0 seed bead drags up to the top of the crystal and doesn't sit inside the hole of the 8-0. And then grab a 15-0 seed bead. You're now coming out of the crystal. You're going to go into the 8-0 on the side you started on the opposite side of the bead, and pull it through. And this is what you should have. Now we're just going to sew around this piece by going through these 3 11-0 seed beads where your tail is, and then I'm going to cut off my tail. I'm not going to cut it really short because I want to retain a little bit of strength there. So I'm just going to cut it like so, get it out of my way, and then I'm going to go through the 8-0, and then back up through these 3 11-0s here. There's a little bit more reinforcing on this first unit simply because we need to hold it together. Now, you're coming out of these 3 11-0 seed beads. We will be making 3 units to embellish on each unit. However, we're going to be sharing the third unit of the previous, or the third column of the previous unit. So now we only have to build 2 columns because this is our first column of 3 11-0 seed beads. So we're going to pick up 3 11-0 seed beads. We're coming out of this side of the column of beads. We're going to go into the opposite side and pull another column up against it, like so. And then we're going to go through that new column. Hold on to it, pull your thread through. Pull it straight through so that the columns stay together nicely. And then pick up 3 more 11-0 seed beads. And then you're coming out of the bottom of this column, you're going to go into the top of it. And again, pull these 3 11-0 seed beads down to create a new column. And then travel up that column. Pull your thread straight through, pick up an 8-0 seed bead, and skip this middle column. You can kind of push it down, but we'll push it down as we do this next step anyway. Pick up an 8-0 seed bead, and then go into the last column of the first unit, which will be the first column of your second unit you are creating. So go down into that column, bring this 8/0 seed bead down. As you do this, push the middle column kind of out towards the back, and then pick up an 8/0 seed bead and go into the third column again from the bottom side here. As I pull it down, I will make sure that it cups up by pushing the center column of beads. And now I have another little bezel, as you can see. I'm going to go into this 8/0 seed bead here, pull my thread through, pick up a 15/0 seed bead, a crystal, and a 15/0 seed bead, and I'm going to go to the opposite 8/0 on the same side I'm coming out of this 8/0 and go through it. Now your little unit is going to pull apart a little bit. That's okay. As we guide this in and as we tighten everything up, it'll pull all back together again. The first 3 units are the most difficult. After that, it's easier to work with. Now I have my crystal centered on my little bezel. I'm going to pick up another 15/0 seed bead. And I'm coming out of the 8/0, I'm going to go directly into the crystal, like so. Hold on to the crystal and pull and give a little tug. Make sure your 8/0 seed beads arranged nicely on, or excuse me, your 15/0 seed beads arranged nicely beneath the 8/0 seed bead. And then pick up another 15/0 seed bead. And then go into the 8/0 on the opposite side from which you started. Now, in order to tighten this complete unit and make it look good, we have to travel down into the center set that we start, or not the center set, but the end set of the first unit and the first set of the second unit. So this middle set right here. We need to travel down into these 3 11/0 seed beads again, and that will tighten up the second unit you just made. And now you can see that they look really nice together. Now we're coming out of that middle set that connects the 2 units. We're going to go into the 8/0 seed bead, and then we're going to go up into these 3 11/0s on the outside here. Let's make one more unit together, then we'll make 2 off camera. Pick up 3 11/0 seed beads, go into the opposite side of the column you're coming out of, and pull those beads down, and then go up into those beads that you just added. Put your thumb and finger together and pull the thread through, straight through. Again, pick up 3 11/0 seed beads and do the same thing. Come around to the opposite side you're coming out of, go down into the 3 beads and bring your new 3 beads on top of them, and then travel up the new 3 beads. Like so. And now you will pick up an 8/0 seed bead and travel over to the first set that we're attaching to. Skip the middle set and bring your 8/0 down. As you bring it down, you can push on the center set of 11/0 seed beads, and then grab another 8/0 and skip the middle set, go into the third set of 11/0 seed beads. Pull the 8/0 down, push the middle column of 3 beads down, and then go up into that 8/0 seed bead. Pick up a 15/0 seed bead, a crystal, and a 15/0. Cross and go into the same side of the opposite 8/0. Pull your crystal down, hold on to it, give a little tug, pick up a 15/0 seed bead. Go back into the crystal. pull. Make sure your 15-0 goes where you want it to. Sometimes they get in weird positions, so just reposition them with your needle and then pick up another 15-0 and go into the 8-0. And then go down into the first set that you're connecting to of 11-0 seed beads between the two units. Then go up into the 8-0 seed bead. And then go into the last column of 3 beads. And do that process 2 more times so that in total we have 5 units with crystals in them. And we'll be back. Okay. So now you can see I have made my 5 units, and I'm coming out of this little last column of 3 beads here. So what we need to do now is secure the top, cinch it in, and make it curve so that it lays around our finger in the proper form of a ring. So you're going to pick up a 15-0 seed bead. We're coming out of this column of 3 11-0s. Pick up a 15-0 and go into the first 8-0 seed bead. And then continue. Pick up a 15-0 and go into the next 8-0 seed bead. And just pop these 15-0s between the 8-0 seed beads all the way across the entire top. Let me make sure I'm in camera here. Okay, when you get to the end, you can see already how when I pull on it, it wants to gather up and kind of curve. So now we're going to pick up a 15-0 seed bead. We're coming out of this last 8-0, and we're going to go into these 3 11-0s on this end. I'm going to attempt to cut this tail a little shorter. There we go. And now I am going to pick up another 15-0 seed bead. I'm coming out of these 3 11-0s right here, and I'm going to go into the 8-0 on this side. As you do this, kind of form it into a curve as you do it. Just kind of let it curl around your finger. Go into the next 8-0 with a 15-0. And then into the next, and continue to the end, pulling them tightly together. See how it starts to curve around my finger here? Now, I'm sorry, I cannot seem to hold on to this little guy. And now we're going to pick up another 15-0 seed bead and go down into the 3 11-0s on the side we started on, just like so. My thread is all wadded up. What's up with today, but okay. Now, we're coming out of these 3 11-0 seed beads. We are going to pick up 5 11-0 seed beads onto our needle. 5, and I'm coming out of this side. I'm going to avoid this 15-0 that I put on top of these 3 11-0s and just go through the 3 11-0s again. Before you do this, give a nice tight pull on your thread so that all those 15-0s are nice and tight. And then bring it down. And this is what you should have. Now we're going to go back into this little 15-0 right here and into all the 11-0 or 8-0s and 15-0s on the top of this side right here, and pull through. And then again, you're going to slide up into the 15-0 on this side and all 3 11-0s, but avoid the 15-0 on top. Just go through the 3 11-0s and pull your thread through. And make sure your thread is nice and tight, and pick up 5 11-0 seed beads. And I apologize for dropping this piece so much. It's just flying out of my hand. 5. And then go into the opposite side of the 3 11-0s, avoiding the 15-0 on top of them and the 15-0 on the other side, and just go through the 3 11-0s right here and pull. Make sure everything's nice and tight, and then turn your piece over and slide up into the first 3 11-0s on the loop you just created. Tighten it, turn it back over, and then pick up 3 11-0 seed beads. Come back through the opposite side of the bead you're coming out of, right here. Pull these new beads down to that bead and begin right angle weave. So each unit of right angle weave that we do, we're going to sew back through, because this is a band of a ring. It not only makes your stitch neat, it makes it strong. So just sew back through each bead on the right angle weave unit. And then travel back through the one you started in. And that's what you should have. Now we need to go into this bead and this bead to get to the top bead to make our next unit of right angle weave. Into here. Then we'll pick up 3 11-0 seed beads again and go into the opposite side of the bead we're coming out of. Bring these 3 11-0s down like so. Now sew back through the 3 11-0s. Do it one bead at a time, simply because it will retain a prettier shape if you do that. So if you just put your thumb and finger over each time, you can tug and you can get a really nice, neat unit of right angle weave. Now we're connected to the bead that we started in. We need to go down into this bead and this bead to start our next unit. So into this one, and then into the top bead. Let's do one more unit, and then we will go to length off camera. And I'll tell you how you're going to determine that length. Those are 15-0s. So pick up 3 more 11-0s onto your needle like so. I think I have a 15-0. If you're using the same color 15 and 11-0s, be careful. Alright, coming out of this side, don't mix them up. Go into the opposite side, pull your unit down and reinforce it. People tell me all the time that all my reinforcing is, what was the word? Unnecessary. But if you've ever spent hours making a piece just to have it fall apart, when you sell it, someone brings it back to you, and then you don't even know where to begin to repair it, you'll start reinforcing, because it's just no fun. Alright. Now, we're going to continue making these units of right angle weave until when you put it on the finger you want to wear it on, it comes all the way around and touches. Because we will make one more unit after that. That will make a little bit more space, but we're going to draw it in on our next step, and it's going to become smaller. It's going to shrink a little. So as you go all the way around with these units, make sure that your very last bead, your top bead of your last unit, touches this bead just very lightly, or even has just a tiny bit of space, but just bring your length all the way around that way. Now, if you're using a ring mandrel to get a particular size, do the same thing. Wrap it around the ring mandrel, make your right angle weave until it just touches the tip of this bead here, and we'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone to the length that I want for my ring, and it's about 12 units. Now, this will make about a size 8, 7.5, 8 ring. My fingers are pretty big. So, use the amount of units that you need for your hand. And then you can see I'm coming out of this side of this bead here. I'm going to pick up my piece, and I'm going to aim for this center bead in these 5 beads that we have added to the end of the ring. So it will be the third 11-0 in your strip here. Then you're going to pick up an 11-0 seed bead, and you're going to go into the same side of this bead that you're coming out of this bead. So straight across, we're going to go into this 11-0 seed bead right here, and pull our new 11-0 down, drawing up the strip of right angle weave we've created. And then pick up another 11-0 seed bead and go back into the opposite side you started in on the strip of right angle weave right here. And this will create another unit of right angle weave connected to the top of the ring, like so. And then we are going to reinforce that. So we're coming out of this bead right here. We're going to go into this one here and pull the thread through, and then go into the one on the 5 beads on the top of the ring, and then into this side bead here, into the middle bead here that we're connecting to. Make sure you're close enough here so you can see this unit. And then I'm going to go up into this side bead again, into this top bead, so I can begin my next step. Hold on, my thread is tangled. Okay. So I'm in this side bead here. I'm going to go into this top bead again, the one connected to the top of the ring, right here. Give a nice tug so everything's tight. Go into this side bead right here. So this is the unit that is connecting to the top of the bead. Now we're going to pick up 15-0 seed beads, and we're going to go in between each side bead of right angle weave. So right here, I'm going to go into the next bead and pull this 15-0 seed bead down between the units of right angle weave. Let me get some more out here. Pick up another 15-0, go into the next side bead of the next unit, and pull your 15-0 down. And again, go into the next side bead of the next unit and bring another 15-0 in between. And we're going to do this all the way around this side of our piece. So into the next side bead. And you know, your right angle weave may not be in perfect order, so just make sure you're picking up the side beads. And it'll straighten it out as you do this. This will make your units really nice and neat. So continue all the way around until we get to the very last unit, and we'll be back. Okay, so I placed my 15-0 all the way around until I'm in my very last unit before the unit of 5 beads attached to the top of the ring. So I'm coming out of this side bead in this first unit here. Now I am going to go into this 11-0 seed bead that attaches the strand of right angle weave and the 5 beads on top of the ring. I'm just going to go into that center bead. I'm going to turn my ring around, give a nice tug so that all these 15-0s that you just put in are drawn together. There's no slack, and it kind of draws the top of that strand of right angle weave together. Then you're coming out of this center bead, you're going to go into the first side bead in the first unit of right angle weave here. And then you're going to pick up 15 seed beads and put them between each 11 on this side. So I'm going from this bead I'm coming out of into the next bead, and I'm going to bring a 15 seed bead down between those beads, like so. And I will continue doing that all the way around, just like I did on the other side. So I'll go into the next 11 and pull a 15 seed bead down. Pick up another and go into the next. And just continue doing this all the way down this entire side until you get to the last unit here, and we'll be back. Okay, so I've traveled all the way around, and I'm coming out of this last 11 right before the bead that connects to the 5 beads on top. So I'm going to go into that bead. Sorry, I don't seem to be able to hold this thing in my hands today. So I'm in this connecting bead now. I'm going to travel up the 2 beads that lead to the 11 on top of the ring. So I'm going to go into these 2, and then I'm going to go into the 3 11 here on top of the ring, avoiding the 15 on either side of them, and then back down into these 2 on the side here. And then into the connecting bead right here. And then I'm going to sew down into my original right angle weave, avoiding the 15 just sewing the right angle weave in the 11 And right here, I'm going to grab the thread bridge between the 15 and the 11 right here, and I'm going to go underneath it, guiding my thread between the beads, and create a loop, go through the loop, and pull a little knot down. And then I'm going to go into the right angle weave 11 again. Avoid the 15 and just sew in my 11 And then I'm just going to cut this off. You can knot it a few times, however you would like to do it. And then I'm just going to cut this off, leave a little tag, burn it down, just melt it, don't light it on fire, and then I have a nice little ring. We back off, and that's what that ring looks like. It's very pretty. Fits very nicely. And let me take it off so that you can see what it looks like just on its own. And that's what it looks like. This is what the back looks like. Let's get close again. That's the band. Here's the connection. Here's the top of the ring. And it's very pretty. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and that you decide to make yourself one. Bye-bye.